Assalamualaikum guys. Welcome back to Spill with MIL&DIL.
Episode 12.
Yeah, episode 12. And oh my god, we've got to 500 subscribers.
That's right. And we really appreciate whoever subscribed us.
Yes.
Thank
Actually,
you
we've got
very
over.
much.
We've got over, haven't we?
520 today.
Oh
yeah.
my god. So we
can't
reached our
believe
goal.
it. I was saying to you yesterday that, we were, when it wasn't even 100, it was on 80 when we recorded one of the episodes, and we said, oh, we nailed to 100.
I know.
And today we over 500.
It's so crazy. And our goal was by the end of the year, if we could get to 500, and we have. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. Okay, so shall we do our Islamic reminder? Oh, it's up here. I forgot about that. There you go. Should I take that?
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, today's Islamic reminder is: when a thing disturbs the peace of your heart, give it up.
Oh.
Some people say to keep going, don't they?
Yeah.
But here you go, guys. So something disturbs the peace of your... Actually, no, yes, the peace of your heart. So obviously you want to... Yeah. So give it up, guys. If someone's disturbing your peace, let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Okay, we'll come back to that at the end. So, I was going to say something and then I completely forgot. Oh, should we? Okay, so we can choose from our topics, which is we've got all of our topics in here, or we can carry on answering some of the questions from last time. Do you remember? Because we only answered 2 or 3.
Yeah, we actually can answer.
Shall we answer?
Recently people asked us, so we can answer them.
Okay.
These are from you guys as well, the topics given, but these are from them as well. So.
Exactly. So what we'll do, because we've answered a few already last week, so we'll answer what we might do again today, because we answered one and then we kind of made a whole discussion about that one. So we could just do the same, maybe, if it ends up. Also, I need to rush off today, so we're going to try and keep this one short. Okay, so do you want to pick one? Because last week
I don't mind.
Okay, let's see.
We can talk about it then.
Because we could do some short ones. Okay, let's do this one, because you can also give it from your own experience and things, or what you know. So how do you balance in-laws and your own family? So obviously me living with my in-laws and then my own family. Because a lot of people say, do you see your mum, and when do you have time to see your mum and things like that. I think it's really hard to say balance, because there is no balance.
There's no
like I know
less or more kind of thing that you spend less or more time with your family and less or more with the in-laws.
Like naturally, in my position, I would end up spending more time with my in-laws because I live with my in-laws. Yeah. So that's a bit different. And my parents, even though they're not that far away, we all work. My mum and dad work. I work. My brothers work. So we're all really busy. So basically, I don't balance it. It's just when I get time. And luckily, I'm in a position where...
whenever we need to go to see them, we do that. Like, it's same with me, same with you, that, when you're living somewhere, that's your main place where you're living. And automatically you will be spending more time and doing more things in that place. Yeah. And as a family, either it's your own family or other relatives, you will be going accordingly, or whenever you want to see them. For example, especially for the parents, if you want to see them and you've got time, you've got no other any commitment, so you'll go and see them. Yeah. So you can't say that we have to balance. Balance is that you should always
make the effort. And I think making the effort also with communicating via text or FaceTiming, because I text my mum and dad and we call each other most nights. Not every night. There'll be some I go 2-3 days maybe without calling them, but I might have texted them in the meantime.
And also some people have their parents or family far away, so luckily you guys, you can actually communicate by FaceTiming or text or call or whatever. But in our timings, we were just writing letters and things like that. So there is that.
And also being in a different country.
Yeah.
It would be because even if I lived in a different country and I still had FaceTime and all that, but it's a time difference. So if my mum and dad lived in Pakistan, there's a 6-hour, 5-hour time difference. So by the time I come home, they'll probably be sleeping, and by the time they wake up, I'm sleeping. So it's a bit like you just, as long as we
and
all
also
make the effort.
Can be another thing as well, that some parents are living only even 5-10 minutes away from you. So you will be making effort to see them, or they'll be coming to see you. So it's according to the situation, according to however you live.
I know if I live like 10 minutes away from my mum, probably after work I'd probably pop in for a cup of tea. Most days probably, and then. But obviously, in this situation, I can't do that because it'll take me an hour to get there.
And sometimes even though you have time, then because you tired from work or stuff, so you will be ending up just calling or texting or FaceTiming. And
like I'm in a position where I work in a school, so when it's half term and Christmas holidays, like it is at the moment, summer holidays, then I'll go and spend like a week or two at my mum's, or the feast, or we'll break it up, like I'll go for 2 days, then come back home, then go another day, a couple of days. I do it like that because again, I have like stuff going on at home. Like if I could just go and stay for 6 weeks at my mum's, I would. But I have a house to look after. I've got things going on, so I can't just up and leave. Like actually, and also Lafis works during the times that I'm off anyway. So then when I'm off, I'm like, oh, we've got more time to spend together because when he finishes, then we can go out for dinner or something, or the weekends and things like that. So when I'm working, we're both working. I come home and then we're both like, oh, I can't bother to do anything. And then whereas when I'm off, I've got a bit more energy to do things in the evenings, or even if it's just I might plan a date night at home or something like that.
Something.
So you'll see, then there's the balance of how do you balance your husband and your family as well. But yeah, so I think that I wouldn't say you can't balance it.
And you can't, plan it as well that, whole time. According to situation, like sometimes even though you're tired, but Allah give them health, but if there is somebody ill or something, you will try to make effort and go see like your family, whoever you want to see.
Or if they've got an event going on, someone's birthday or something, then they invite us and we go over.
So these kind of things accordingly happens and we see them.
But I do know some people. I remember speaking to someone, and they said the weekend is for their in-laws. So she's obviously living with her husband, and she goes, every weekend we go to my mum and dad's house. They live on their own, and then during the week they see his mum and dad. So because I think they live closer to his mum and dad. She's moved away.
Right.
So they've dedicated the weekend for her mum and dad.
So that's the balance, isn't it? So then, however you have a chance to see them.
So that would be a balance then, because if your husband not agrees, but if you both think, okay, weekend is for my mum and dad, and the weekday we can have dinner at your mum's for 2-3 days or whatever, because obviously you're much closer, so you don't have to worry about travelling.
And also you have to see their things as well, like if they are available. Sometimes even parents working, both are working, and they according to that availability, you'll go and see them as well.
But even with like non-Asians, so like Gore people, they always say Sunday's a day where we go to our in-laws, or Saturday we have dinner every Saturday, or Friday evenings we always have dinner at my in-laws. So they still make the effort in that sense. Obviously, a lot of time they don't live with their in-laws, but on a Friday they go see the husband's mum and dad, and then Saturday they go see the wife's mum and dad. So then that way both parents. So it's a similar situation, but obviously within the Asian culture, like a lot of the girls live with their in-laws. So in terms of this question would be, when I have time and my mum and dad are not working 24/7 because they're always working, then I go and see them. Like I'm going to see them tomorrow, spending 2 days with them, and I spent a day with them the other day. So yeah, because I'm off, I can spend the time now with them, and Nafis is coming with us tomorrow. And then actually they might be coming in a couple of days as well. So then mum and dad, also my family come to our house as well. It's not just me going over to their midst, my family also do come and visit as well. Okay, okay, this one's, I don't really know how to answer this, but maybe you can. How do you prevent family politics from interfering in your household?
Just by ignoring them.
Shut up.
Yeah. None of your business.
Could you imagine? I don't know, because I think, so in our situation, we don't really have any family politics. But I guess, how would you say in your like generation, growing up and things, of any family politics?
It gets influenced no matter what.
Yeah.
Family politics, like for example, I have a daughter-in-law, and one of my family member, my sister brothers, they'll don't like something about my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
I'm just giving example.
Not me.
And they'll say that, oh, your daughter-in-law does this and your daughter-in-law do that. So even though you are satisfied, but no one member of your family, 2-3 people will say the same thing, then you'll get influenced. Oh yeah, maybe that is wrong. Yeah. So the politician gets involved, and then the issue starts.
So it's about like
try.
The community.
If happens like this, we should always try that. If we are living happily and there's nothing wrong I can find from the start. If first person saying that to you, just make them be quiet.
Shut up. I think that's so good though, because there's some people who will, like you said, they're speaking in their ear and saying, oh my God, look at what she's doing, I can't believe she's doing that. And then say, for example, you in this situation go, oh my God, you then start thinking bad of me, for example, in this situation. And then that will cause, even though we have such a good relationship, that will start to cause. And
if you really think or listen to others, however I experienced from others, not from my family, but these issues start from this place. That a family is okay, a husband, wife's okay, mother-in-law, father-in-law is okay, but some other person from the family, either dad's side or mom's side, will come and say something, leave the comments, or taunt them, or say something, then
because it could even be like, oh, you should tell her, she should be doing that. And you'll be like,
okay, if there is something bad and you didn't notice it and somebody's making you aware of that, then that's it. You can obviously have a word with your whoever about that situation is, and you can talk to that person. But if you think that, no, I think it's just their thinking,
they're just thinking
it's not wrong, so you can speak up for and defend your family member that, why are you saying that? That's not how you think, it's this way, or explain it to them, then that will make them mouth shut.
Yeah, basically. Or you could say like, oh, okay, thank you for letting me know, I'll sort it out. Or something, just so that they I guess, because sometimes in that situation they might be like, I think some people will say, but you can't see it. Of course you won't be able to see. Like in relationships, well, if the girl is being horrible to the man or the man's being horrible to the girl, and your friends, like, there's been times even in like, I've said to my friends, oh, I don't think he's treating you right. And they're like, oh, you don't know him. Don't say anything to me. And they obviously support him, but then later on down the line, they realise actually, but I think in this situation, there's sometimes some of the outside family or even the family members just try to do it to break up the relationship.
But then, don't take me wrong, but sometimes it happens as well, like, for example, mother-in-law being unreasonable to daughter-in-law and somebody sees that and they will be telling you and saying to daughter-in-law that, oh, your mother-in-law doesn't be nice to you, why don't you say something, or, then in that case, and if you felt it as well, then have a word, then, somebody else noticed it now, then you should
I think
solve that problem. That will be benefiting you, will benefit you, so it's best that you talk it. Don't always take as wrong or as a negative that the person said it. Because there are genuine people as well that who, for example, daughter-in-law becomes rude to mother-in-law, and somebody comes and notice that, and they say, oh, look, your daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So don't need to be there and then having arguments or anything, but you can have a word that or give example that somebody's noticed as well, but I'm feeling that, so can you please, there is a right way to deal with the matters as well.
And I think also it's like, if more than one person is saying it, then you would start to think, oh, actually, maybe something. If it was just one person, one-off time, then you can kind of ignore it and be like, I know that's.
And also, if you are satisfied with that, and there's nothing wrong with that, whatever they said it, then just ignore it.
Yeah.
Or tell them, like you said, tell them that, okay, I will have a word, but you know that there's nothing.
Because it could be like, for example, one time she's not feeling well, so she's not doing anything, like she's just sitting on the sofa or something. And somebody goes, oh, she doesn't help out. Yeah. But you know that she's not feeling well. Yeah. And that she's going through something.
Yeah, other people doesn't know the whole situation. Then they only spend 5-10 minutes and observe that and assume that this is the wrong thing happening. But in
that situation, then they should say, no, she's going through something. Just, like, I know, don't worry, it's okay. That's why she's behaving. It's not even anything wrong. Just she's going through something. She's not having a good day.
Yeah.
And then that person then should respect what you have said and said, okay. But there's sometimes
if they are in having with the wrong intention saying it, they'll know. Hamari dal nahi idhar gal
exactly.
We can't make something.
Yeah, we're trying to make this bad, but actually
it won't happen.
Yeah.
So they'll stop. Leave it and they'll stop themselves.
Exactly. Whereas if it is like, then again it happens, a couple of days later, she's doing it again and again, then I think. But then again, in a situation like, say if I've gone through really bad something and it's taken me a week and I've been in, sometimes people get really depressed and they've seen that. And then I think the other person should just realise that person knows the situation and they haven't got a problem with it. If you haven't got a problem with me getting up and doing something because of something, then the other person shouldn't worry unless they can see you getting upset. If you're starting to get upset because I just sit on the sofa all day and do nothing, and you look stressed and you look upset, and then of course, then obviously that's something different. But if you're like smiling, happy, you're doing normal stuff, then you just leave it alone.
So that's how we can say that, politics
and how to, interfere. I guess maybe, I don't know, people might think politics as in the household, so like in-laws and like the daughter-in-law living in there and everything. I don't know if there would be politics between the daughter-in-law and, I guess we've said this so many times though, that if the mother-in-law thinks the daughter-in-laws are doing something, or the daughter-in-law thinks the mother-in-law is doing something,
and it's not just
and the husband.
That it's not just the other families. Like for example, unmarried sister-in-laws living.
Yeah, just exactly.
Yeah, and mother-in-law and sister-in-law both are ganging up in them. And talking about and the picking and picking issues and pointing on her.
Yeah.
Then obviously, and other people comes and that notice as well. But it depends the situation that, who's wrong in that situation.
Yeah.
Either the sister-in-law.
Do you know what? This is what you're just saying, something similar. Someone said on live that they feel awkward going downstairs to speak to their mother-in-law because their mother-in-law doesn't make effort doesn't speak to her, basically. She goes, she doesn't make the effort to speak to me, and I feel awkward going downstairs. And I said, you both might be thinking the same thing. She's always upstairs and doesn't want to come downstairs and don't want to speak to me. And then she's thinking, she doesn't want to speak to me, so I'm not going to go downstairs.
That's a very good point, actually.
Yeah, so I just said, maybe you should go out downstairs and just say, s-salamu, Aunty, like, is there anything I can do?
Because you are younger, no matter, doesn't matter.
You've got to respect your elders. Yeah. So I said to you, maybe you should just go downstairs. Doesn't matter if it's feel awkward because that's your home. That is your home now. You've come into that home.
Depending on you to make it home.
So. Exactly, yeah. So I just said to her, you should go downstairs, just say, do you want anything? Can I make you tea? Or even just even if you don't want to ask that, just go sit with her. And then maybe, you know, even if you make a few little conversations, and if she isn't making any conversation, at least you're trying.
Yeah.
And then maybe she'll start to realise, oh, she is trying to make a bit of effort.
And it sometimes happens, like if somebody is even negative about the situation, and when someone else, it's not always happens, I must admit that you know, sometimes you do put effort and the other person doesn't. But when you do that, then sometimes it happens that other person thinks, oh, I've been negative about it, but she's...
But then she's actually, because in that situation, it could be they're both
they
thinking.
will change, and then both will be positive.
Exactly.
From negative, both, and then both will be positive.
Exactly, because I said she might not be
one of the person's
100%. But because she might be, the mother-in-law might be thinking, well, she never comes downstairs, so what conversation am I going to make with her if she doesn't want to come downstairs? And then obviously she's thinking the same thing. My mother-in-law doesn't speak to me, so why should I go downstairs? So they're both thinking the same thing. So I was just like, so that was quite interesting because you said in the house, and that could be a politic because she might be saying to her husband, oh, like, your mum doesn't speak to me. And then he might be like, oh, it's fine, like, you know, just I'll speak to her. And then she might be saying to him, well, she doesn't come downstairs. So then the issue is they're both being a little bit stubborn, I guess.
Yeah.
And one needs to make, or they both need to make the effort, but one has to make a bit more of the effort.
They're waiting for each other to take the first step. Yeah. So it doesn't matter who takes the step, but I think that if younger person as a daughter-in-law takes the step, that may be even more positive kind of thing can happen because mother-in-law will think, oh, she's younger and she actually came to me, and even though she's not really 100% positive about it, but she can be.
She might change her mind.
She might change her mind, and she's.
And it's not just a one time doing that. If you notice, like, you know, you got to do it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Not just okay. Well, I've only gone downstairs once now. I tried talking to her. She didn't bother talking to me. You have to keep trying. Just like you make effort with your husband and, you know, communicate.
Yeah. Any relation you put effort, don't you?
Yeah.
For example, if your own sister, if your own mother, if your own brother stops talking to you, and you start talking, and once you start, but the sister or brother or mother or whoever that is, they might don't, you know, get over it for you talking once. So you might have to do it twice, 3 times. So you do put effort. So same way.
And I think in that situation, the mother-in-law should also, if she isn't making effort, then she should also be saying, oh, why don't you come? Is there anything you want to eat? Or just whatever. I don't know what the conversation is.
There's loads of things.
Let's watch something together.
Yeah.
Shit, so they both need to be making.
Or at least, you know, sometimes if nothing, then whatever you bought, you just show her, oh, look, I bought this. What do you think? You know, any clothes, any random stuff.
Yeah.
You just need to put effort, basically, somehow, according to your situation. Inshallah, something good will happen.
Inshallah, something good will happen. So, guess what, guys? We're going to be adding a new section into our podcast, which will happen at the end of every episode, and it's going to be Auntie's advice.
Yes.
So Auntie's been thinking lots about trying to give advice, and obviously we do it in the podcast, but the advice that she's going to give at the end of each episode will be something different.
Yeah.
And just one point, just to kind of because it could be the topic that we're talking about might not link to your situation, but her advice might. So.
Yeah, and also if according to that advice you think that can be a topic for you and you want to have more conversation about it, more talk about it, then we can carry on from that. But that will be basically my advice.
Yes.
And today's advice is for all the men in the world, as a father, as a father-in-law, son, husband, cousin, whoever the males are, is for them, my advice.
Okay.
And that is respect all the women. Either it's sister, wife, cousin, or any relation. Mother-in-law, all the women should be respected by man.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. That's my advice for
and
men.
in Islam, it teaches men to respect their women.
And if men respect women, everything will happen smoothly and positive, inshallah.
That was good advice. I like that one. Also, I don't know these advice. I said to Auntie, you can't tell me, so I can react on the pod.
So each time I will be giving that kind of advice. So, like I given today, if you think we can talk about this further, then that will be a topic. That will be our podcast topic. And we can talk about it. But for today's advice.
Yeah, well done. I like that.
Thank you.
That's good advice. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because I've just checked the time and I need to leave in like 10 minutes. But I'm going to read the Islamic reminder again, which is, when a thing disturbs the peace of your heart, give it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the word is respect today.
Okay, so comment respect if you got this far. Thank you all so much for subscribing, liking, and some of you do comment sometimes, but please make sure you are commenting because we want to see and hear your feedback. So please do.
Thank you so much for supporting us in this.
Inshallah, we'll get more subscribers.
Inshallah.
So, inshallah. We'll see you next week.
Allah Hafiz.